Top 10 media fails of 2024. I'm so glad I found this video. It's from a company called Grabian. I'm going to react to it here and add some of my own clips as well.
Grabian presents the most mortifying media moments of 2024. Number 10, ignore your eyes. Those are cheap fakes.
There's a growing and insidious trend in right-wing media, broadcast, print, and social media. It is to take highly misleading and selectively edited videos of President Biden directly from Republican...
Oh my goodness. This video is going to be so awesome.
National Committee social media accounts, and then use those videos to spread messages virally to cast doubt on President Biden's fitness for office. Here is this headline from the New York Post, quote, Biden appears to freeze up, has to be led off stage by Obama.
And the media now, MSNBC, CNN, this is MSNBC, they wonder why their ratings, I'm sure they're wondering why they've cratered following the election. You would think if the opposition party wins, the ratings would go up. That actually happened in 2016. Rachel Maddow, her star took off like a rocket ship when Trump won the first time. This clip here is like the definition of gaslighting.
At Megabucks LA fundraiser. The full video, posted by Biden finance chair on Twitter, shows something entirely different. Biden reacting to applause and then walking off stage with former President Obama. It comes less than 1 week after the New York Post made a cover out of another piece of deceptively edited tape, calling him meanderer-in-chief due to what they claim was Biden walking away during a skydiving demonstration.
Because he was doing that. It's not deceptively editing to show a clip of something. If you want to show a 30-second clip, you don't have to show 5 minutes. He was wandering around.
During the G7 summit last week, Biden was going over to congratulate one of the skydivers. The articles are based on cheap fakes, videos of real events that are intentionally manipulated to fool viewers.
Even White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was in on this cheap fakes terminology.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and
they're done in bad faith, really. So Biden is just all good on his end. And then Joe Biden had this moment on stage, and I don't think I heard the media use the term cheap fake once after this.
Eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
To fool viewers.
Number 9, CNN thinks America is a democracy.
There's a lot of criticism.
So this one could argue there's gray area or there's some semantics. CNN gets very dramatic about it, though.
Criticisms of Trump that he is bad for democracy, that he's bad for American democracy.
Okay. We are a republic.
We're a republic.
We are not a democracy.
Republic. We're not a democracy.
I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories. I hear a lot of things out on the road. But to hear Americans, people who would describe themselves as patriots, say that America is not a democracy, that stopped me in my tracks.
You are hearing people.
That stopped me in my tracks. They said it's a republic, representative republic. You could say maybe representative democracy. They're not saying people don't vote. They said it's a republic. Like, that is a very uncharitable way to frame their position, I think.
People say America is not a democracy because there are people around Trump who want them to be saying that, who've been planting that narrative.
Number 8, Beyonce is performing at the DNC.
There are rumors that Beyonce might make an appearance. I personally think that that's true.
Is the United Center going to be turning into the Beehive tonight?
The Beehive is buzzing right now because the preparation for the Beehive, it has to start early.
A donor confirmed to me that she's also hearing that Beyonce is en route.
Beyonce is going to show up. Queen Bey.
But of course, there was no concert. There was no Beehive. That's actually the first time I've ever heard that term. Beyonce spoke for about 5 minutes total.
We are so happy.
So not much. I mean, there certainly is no concert happening.
Breaking Beyonce news.
Number 7, the media tries to scare people about Project 2025.
The far-right manifesto puts forth
this one is a beauty.
The border, and it seeks to do so with military force. It aims to use every lever of government to find, detain, and deport undocumented people, take funding and housing away from people who are just associated with undocumented immigrants. Quote, deny loan assistance to those who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents.
For whatever reason, I found the Project 2025 lie probably the most annoying of all. Donald Trump would constantly say, this is not my platform, blah, blah, blah. But the media they couldn't help themselves just making this thing up.
Here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad.
It was just such a waste of time that they had to keep talking about this, have an actual policy debate. Again, this Project 25 thing, I thought was the biggest waste of time.
Who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents.
Number 6. Media tries to hype up the amount of misinformation on X.
After Elon Musk took over in 2022, most of its fact checkers were fired. Now the site is rife with trash talk and lies. Little would you know that this, said to be footage from Gaza, is really from a video game. Eventually, X users added a warning label. These are AI-generated images of, well, see for yourself.
Oh my goodness, that's disinformation. No, I thought Donald Trump and Joe Biden were making restaurant-quality apple pies in some, French kitchen or whatever that is. I thought that was real, the image on the right. They just took time off from debating, from campaigning. Joe Biden took time off from running the country to bake apple pies with Donald Trump. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that that's not actually a real image and maybe it was AI generated.
Did your research find that there was more misinformation spread by conservatives?
Absolutely. X.
How convenient.
Has turned into a haven for the spread of misinformation. Since buying the site almost 2 years ago, Musk's site has struggled.
This media is probably triggered. We do the misinformation over here, not you guys. What is going on? We need to tell you about the term cheap fakes.
To control it on topics ranging from the election to the assassination attempt against Trump.
Number 5, Tim Walz.
There's also community notes. X is not perfect. I have issues with it a little bit on the margins, but for free speech, all that, the community notes there are fantastic.
Attempt against Trump.
Number 5, Tim Walz is the best. J.D. Vance is the worst.
Midwestern dad, super clean-cut vibe.
Everybody likes
right?
Tim Walz.
So plain-spoken and relatable.
Pretty moderate Democrat.
Very moderate record.
The new moderate.
It's right down the middle.
He's not just an old white man.
Tim Walz beats America,
Talks like a regular person.
Tim Walz is the opposite of weird. Populist approach to fear on the Republican side, and the happy populism that Tim Walz is on the ticket on the Democratic side.
Happy warriors.
Happy warriors.
He was certainly the happy warrior last
A
night.
happy warrior, folksy backstory.
Wicked sense of humor. Look how happy the pig looks. That's good.
Are you kidding me with Tim Walz? I want to interject so many times there. Tim Walz? Are we seeing the same person?
And J.D. Vance is weird, extreme, and angry.
Utter humorlessness.
It's hard to believe that J.D. Vance could be any more extreme.
It's like a freak show of bros.
Dark and ugly beneath the dignity of most politicians.
J.V. Vance.
JD is at the far extreme.
The most extreme.
Being one of the most extreme.
Angry and mean and dark.
This guy is really weird, y'all.
Number 4,
J.D. Vance had the best debate performance I've actually ever seen in any debate, period. Let alone politics. That J.D. Vance performance against Tim Walz perfectly illustrates that the media was totally full of it with those statements. J.D. got a 10 out of 10 in that debate. Tim Walz, maybe charitably, 4 out of 10.
I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it.
And mean and dark.
This guy is really weird, y'all.
Number 4, very, very bad things will happen if Trump wins.
Think about what happens if all of our access to health care goes away next Tuesday. The stakes literally are life and death for every woman in America. It's not hyperbole. It's not an exaggeration.
Trump will fulfill
Life and death for every woman, but not hyperbole.
his promise to be a dictator on day one.
Sets up a network of camps.
Extraordinarily erratic foreign policy in the Middle East.
Doing profound and possibly permanent damage to American democracy.
If historians in the future are allowed to write books
And by the way, that question is open this morning. And if people are allowed to go on television and say what they think in the future, which again, that question is open this morning, that's what happens when strong men come to power. That happened in Italy in the 1920s and 1930s, Germany in the 1930s. Suspend the Constitution, pit the Justice Department, the Defense Department against political enemies, and run this country out of the White House.
Number 3, Joe Biden.
Look, I've reacted to some of those just regular people on TikTok, on Instagram, whatever, freaking out about the election. Think about if you just watch CNN, MSNBC, networks like that all day long and listen to that, you might freak out too. Oh my gosh, Trump won. The guy that you're saying is this terrible person, he won. I kind of feel bad. Listen to how dishonest a lot of the stuff that gets said on these massive networks is.
Run this country out of the White House.
Number 3, Joe Biden would never pardon his son because he is such a great guy.
Presidential promise to put the law before a family.
The president has ruled out pardoning his son.
Pledging not to pardon his son.
To sit there and say, well, I'm not going to intervene in the legal process and I wouldn't pardon my son. Democrats and Joe Biden protecting the justice system.
Our current president of the United States has so much respect for the law that he has said he would not pardon his son.
And Joe Biden has very clearly said he would not pardon his son. He would not commute his sentence. How can Republicans keep making this argument now that Joe Biden has really put it out there?
He's not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country. Yeah. And it isn't, I mean, if you want to know if he believes it, you could actually see what is happening with his own son.
Even President Biden saying in a statement that he would respect the outcome of this case.
This was a good day for the system, good day for sort of America as an example of how the rule of law should work.
We're coming on the air this hour with breaking news. President Biden has just pardoned his son Hunter.
Number 2.
They were all so confident. Oh my gosh.
Has just pardoned his son Hunter.
Number 2, media gets caught editing interviews to help Kamala Harris.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill,
So it says in the court, this is the original.
Work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Number 1.
There's no other way to spin that. That is incredibly, almost 10 out of 10, dishonest. So that was CBS 60 Minutes. Donald Trump, understandably, was not happy about that selective editing.
One on 60 Minutes, you know about that, where they took Kamala's answer, which was a crazy answer, a horrible answer, and they took the whole answer out and they replaced it with something else she said later on in the interview, which wasn't a great answer, but it wasn't like the first one. The first was grossly incompetent. It was weird.
We stand on the need for this war to end.
Number 1, there's no cognitive decline. In fact, Biden has never been better.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
President Biden has a photographic memory.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp. They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed.
He's older. That doesn't mean that he is unfit. He can clear a dementia bar, and that's probably a win.
That's a win. Most powerful human on earth. Commander-in-Chief, USA, biggest military, biggest economy. He can clear a dementia bar.
Speculation from a bunch of people who have probably never been in a room with Joe Biden and certainly don't have medical degrees that I'm aware of.
But a huge part of the Mueller report talks about Russian disinformation.
That's a cheap fake.
tactics. And one of the themes this election cycle is that Joe Biden is too old to lead. And so everyone is seizing upon this. And it is a classic disinformation tactic.
So what a great video. Shout out to Grabian for the edit. I'm going to end on a very short honorable mention. Doesn't exactly follow the format of the show, but it's Mika and Joe.
What we did agree on was to restart communications.
I mean, you're not a foreign country. That was following their meeting with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, talking about restarting communications following all the wild things they've said. I just think that line is so funny. Restart communications, like this is some USA Russia reset. So anyway, with that said, I'll finish the video. 2024 was a crazy year for media. We will see what will happen in 2025. Rise of independent media, the regular media, the legacy media, obviously has a pretty massive credibility problem to deal with. But anyway, with that said, I'll finish the video here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.